Hi guys, I'm back again. This is Night Fear coming on to continue my hashtag 50 a day November. I'm going to be doing the last 4 days in this video, so let's get started. So this is for last Tuesday, November 20th. The very first book I started with was The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. And I actually finished the book this day. I read 71 pages. I gave this book 5 stars. I can't really go into too much because this is the second book of the series, but it was definitely good. It was a lot better than what I thought it was. I've had The Kiss of Deception on my TBR for a little while, and I don't know, maybe it was the cover, and I just kind of looked at it and I was like, eh. And then I looked at it and I was like, eh. And I've had several of the booktubers I watch actually recommend these books. And so I thought, okay, fine. This is a fantasy readathon. I'm just going to break down and just, and I read The Kiss of Deception. I don't know why. I just read it. And then this one, I thought I'd continue it because of the fantasy. And actually, I'm reading, I got The Beauty of Darkness. Oh, fudge. I need to get that book. Okay. Anyway, so I'm really excited about continuing the series and would highly recommend, especially if you kind of like YA fantasy. I'm trying to think what to compare it to. It's not, and there's kind of a love triangle, but not really. And I don't know how to explain it. It's just really, really good, and I'm really enjoying these books. So I definitely would recommend. And like I said, I gave this 5 stars. The next book I read was Anansi Boys by Neil Gaiman. I'm reading this on Scribd, and I read 25 pages. It's like I'm reading a chapter every time I sit down and read it. I don't know, it's weird. And I have found out that it is about this guy that his father has died and his father was a god. So I wasn't sure at the beginning what was going on because I couldn't remember. But yes, his father was a god, and he's finding out he has a brother. And it's not actually his brother who comes to him. There's another lady that he's known since he was young that's his father's neighbor that actually is right now in the book telling him all about this stuff, and he's kind of like, yeah, right, whatever. But the reason there's a spider is the Anansi is actually a spider god. So, but so far I'm enjoying it. It's one of those, out of all the books I want to read, I want to read this one, but this is one of the lesser ones that I want to read, if that makes sense. There are some books that I'm a little more excited to read. So, which is sad because I like Neil Gaiman, and yeah, so there's that. And then I continued in Everless, by Sarah Holland, and I ended up reading 12 pages in this, because like I said, I don't know, trying to get a bunch of books started, and then I forgot to grab a picture because I forgot that I read this. I actually started Fallen Kingdom, and I read 31 pages in that. So yeah, I was just like all over the place on Tuesday. So I ended up reading 139 pages that day. So, alright, so the next day, which was Wednesday, November 21st, I read and finished Vox by Christina Dolcher. And this book I gave 5 stars. I ended up reading 209 pages because I wanted to get it finished because Kaylin was going to read it, and she just has decided she's not really in a reading mood. So we'll check this out for her at another time. Oh, this book is very disturbing. I would definitely recommend this book. It is what could happen when a radical group takes over and makes the decisions for everybody, and how easily it could happen. If you're watching closely to American politics now, you can understand and be amazed of what all that's going on and what's happening, and people are just going along with it. And it's like, a few years ago, I'd be like, no, that could never happen. But I don't know, reading this book, it's like, yeah, that could happen. And it's it's scary. So I definitely would highly recommend this book. It's easy to read, but just I warn you now, you will be upset. You will get angry, especially if you're a woman. You will be angry, or gay, because there are some things that are happening with that too. But yes, I like I said, I would recommend this 5 stars all the way. That's going back to the library today. And I didn't finish Everless, but I continued in Everless. I read 167 pages of that. So for last Wednesday, I ended up reading 376 pages. All right, so hold on one second. I have to grab a book because I'm stupid and you're going to move around a little bit. So sorry, because I got to reach over here and grab this gigantic book. Oh, okay, because I didn't pay attention and I wasn't really ready. Okay, so Thanksgiving. Now, I don't know how in the world I read as much as I did. Because of my back, I'd cook a little and then I'd read. And then I'd cook a little and then I'd read. And I was actually determined that I was going to finish Everless. And so I read 166 pages of Everless, which ended up finishing the book off. I definitely would give this 5 stars. I definitely am going to try to get a hold of the next book in this series when it comes out the end of December. Oh, so good. We find out a lot of secrets. We find out, I'm trying not to do spoilers, but I'm trying to let you know how interesting this book is. We find out that people that she thought she knew weren't who she thought they were. That situations that she thought she remembered weren't quite the way she remembered them. We discover a little bit more about the sorceress and the alchemist. And in the next book, there's going to be a chase because she is actually leaving Everless once again and leaving to save her life truly this time. So, yes, it's very good. Read it. If you haven't read it already, read it. And it's by Sarah Holland. If I didn't say that this time. So, yes, 5 stars. I'm reading a lot of 5 stars books these last couple weeks, so I'm kind of excited. But, yes, read it. Okay, and then I read, let's see, 23 more pages in Anansi Boys, like I said, another chapter. And that actually was the chapter where he, because he lives in England and he went back to America to go to his father's funeral. So, yeah. So I haven't gotten into the heart of the book yet, really. I don't know. I'm just pittering around with this book. I need to just sit down and read it because, like I said, I'm enjoying it, but there's just, like, I wanted to finish Everless, and I want to finish, well, you'll see. The next book I am going to show you, I want to finish. So, yeah, there's that. So, the last book that I read, as soon as I finished Heart of Betrayal, my library had this copy. They had the first one and had the third one, but they didn't have the second one. I don't know. You figure that out. But anyway, The Beauty of Darkness. It's the 3rd book in the Remnant Chronicles. I had to go get this. Actually, my fiance went and got it for me. And so, yeah, I had to go get it. I just, And this was actually, he got it, he picked it up on Wednesday for me. And I didn't read any of it on Wednesday, but Thursday I was just like, I've got to read this book, and I ended up reading 94 pages. So Thanksgiving I actually read 283 pages of different things. So yeah, very exciting, and this is very good, and this is continuing again from the second one. They're continuing on, and this time, they're going someplace, and now they're coming kind of back from that place, and I can't, and people are dying, and it's sad, and things are happening, and prophecies are being foretold, and we're not sure what prophecy, where she fits in, and she's not sure where she fits in, and it's so good. And But look, guys, this is like a chunker. This is like 600 and something pages. So I'm going to read this one for Tome Topple too. And what I might do is I'm still going to read all of the books on my two fantasy readathon TBRs, but I might replace one of those with this book, just because, like, I think Fall into Fantasy is done tomorrow, so I need to get books read, and I want to finish this one, so yeah, I might kind of do a switchy swatchy thing, and I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, so like I said, Thanksgiving I read 283 pages. Okay, so we're up to yesterday. Now, I started off reading the Beauty of Darkness. I read 189 pages in this. Still going great. See, that's where I am. So yeah, almost halfway. And so I'll be definitely reading this today. I think I have 300 and something pages left. Gonna try to finish this today. If not, I'm gonna get close enough so I can finish it tomorrow. But I mean, it's easy to read, and it's one of those books I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read one more chapter and I'm going to bed. Like, this was me last night, and it was like, no, just one more chapter and I'm going to bed. One more chapter and then I'm going to bed. And finally my eyes were like, whether you like it or not, you're going to bed. So yeah, and if you know, you guys readers, you know how that is. It's just like always, one more chapter. So yeah, the struggle is real. And on Wednesday, when my fiance picked up The Beauty of Darkness, he also picked up Elevation by Stephen King for me, which is his brand new book. And so after I had read a little bit in Beauty and Darkness, I'm like, because I need to get some books returned to the library, because I am doing the Queer Lit Readathon the beginning of December, and I need to start getting those books and figuring out my TBR so I can share that with you guys. And so I can get more books from the library, I need to return books. So I was just like, I can get this done, because, I mean, it's, you know, small. It's 146 pages, so I was like, okay. So this book is about this man, and his name is, hold on, I'm awful with remembering names, guys. Awful. Scott. So this is about Scott, and Scott has this problem. And Scott is losing weight, but you cannot see that he's losing weight. So it's like he's losing mass instead of weight, I think it would be. And it doesn't matter what he puts in his hands, he weighs the same. So like, he could be completely naked, and weigh the same as he would with his boots, his hat, his gloves, his jacket, you know, weights, whatever. He would weigh the exact same. And so he doesn't know why this is happening to him. Then the other storyline is that we have these two women, lesbian women, who are married, who have moved in next door, or, well, not next door, but up the street. So he's neighbors, but not next door neighbors. And they have opened a restaurant, and people are not really loving, because it's Castle Rock, small town. People are not loving that they're openly gay in their town. So the restaurant isn't doing so well. And so Scott is trying to be a good neighbor, and one of the women is not having it. And it's all about his struggles to try to be a good neighbor to them, to be a friend to them, and this weight thing. So I really enjoyed this book. I did give it a 4 because, this is not really a spoiler, but you never find out why it's happening to him, which I was kind of disappointed. I mean, you do see the ending of what happens, but you don't know why. You don't figure out why, which I was kind of disappointed. Other than that, I really enjoyed this book, and I know I've seen a couple of people saying that they didn't really enjoy it, but I did. So I would recommend this if you like Stephen King. It's definitely, I mean, it's not a horror book at all. So I mean, this is one of his lighter books, and it's really small. So if you haven't read Stephen King and been wondering, a place to start. This might be a good place to start. So, but like I said, it was 146 pages, so I ended up reading 335 pages yesterday. So, alrighty, guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this one was kind of long. So, still really doing well on the pages. And I need to get those piled because my fiance is going to the library today for me, and I've got one on hold. I've got a couple others that'll hopefully be at the desk because I've put them on hold, and they're at the library, so it's just easier to do it that way. So yeah, I guess that's all. Please remember to be kind to each other. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving that celebrates Thanksgiving yesterday and or day before yesterday, and that you guys are enjoying your leftovers. And for those of you that have snow, I'm so jealous. We here in Tennessee haven't gotten any snow where I am yet. And so if you guys have snow and want to send me some, love it. All right, guys. See you later, and have a great day.